everyone, welcome to class. I have a workout for you today, and it's more along the lines of a series of exercises that will engage our deep core muscles that will also, in order to help us maintain a healthy back. So it's going to be a progressive workout over the next couple of weeks. We're gonna do this for a few weeks, every week for a few weeks, and we have some progressions that we're going to do. But all you need is a mat. I didn't bring my little tiny dumbbells, but we will implement those in the coming weeks. But this is something that has been increasingly important for us as we move forward through all of the workouts that we continue to do. A lot of us struggle with like little back tweaks or big back tweaks, and it puts us out for some time. So we want to focus on these muscles. So I wrote down some things that I just wanted to make sure that you understand as we go forward, the reason why we're doing this. So we have, right, these deep core muscles, the erector spinae, the multifidus, the quadratus lumborum. I've talked about these muscles before, but really we want to work to engage those muscles, make them stronger so that overall our backs are stronger. We can do everyday activities as well as the exercises and workouts that we do. So what happens when we tweak our backs? We have like weak or underactivated areas that get strained or stressed when we do things. We overload the lumbar spine, that becomes a problem. Poor posture, movement patterns, that can be a problem. Sometimes I've tweaked my back when I've moved through some not weird, but moved through some range of motion, and my back was not feeling good because maybe I was fatigued already. So that's something that we need to pay attention to. Tight hamstrings and hip flexors can be a problem, and then sudden loading or bending without proper form. So all of those things, I just want to make sure that I hit some of those things so that you are the main causes of why we end up with back tweaks. Well, what we need to do is we need to strengthen the deep core stabilizers, which I mentioned. We need to maintain good range of motion and flexibility in the hip flexors, and then really improve our hip and glute strength. So we're gonna do a warm-up, but not our traditional warm-up, because we want to move through this and make sure that we're warming up the muscles of the core before we do anything further with them. So I'm going to turn on some music just because I like to have music. And we're going to start. So I have my mat here, and I want you to get your mat. That's all you're going to need today is your mat. And let's start off by taking a couple deep breaths. Let's take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Good morning, Jen. Deep breath in and exhale. I'm going to angle this up just a teeny bit, and we are going to get to it. There we go. It's a beautiful day here. I think it's going to be a high of 73, Jen. All right. Let's stand at the end of our mats. Let's take one more deep breath in and exhale. And now go ahead and squat and come on down to your mat. All right. From here, we're going to start with cat-cow. So I want you to extend through the spine, lift the chin and the tailbone. Inhale, and then exhale as you round, tuck in the tailbone, rounding through the entire spine, chin to the chest. Okay, go at your own pace. Inhale here, exhale here. Deep breath, inhale. This warm-up, we're not only just warming up the muscles, but we're activating them, we're engaging them so that we can call on them in just a little while. Okay, exhale as you breath in. Inhale as you expand and open the lungs, deep breath. Good job. Let's go another 10 seconds. So this is about spinal mobilization here. Moving through that spine. And good job. Okay, staying here. You can do this standing as well. So if you're not good on your knees and wrists, you can do this standing as well. Standing cat-cow and standing bird dog as well. So moving on to bird dog. You're going to extend arm and opposite leg. And then back down. Other side, extend. Ooh, I'm thinking things. And back down. And switch sides. So what are we doing here? We want to make sure that we're not lifting the hip or rotating the torso at all. You're going to maintain that level position. And move with purpose. Okay, keep going. Get a little closer to you. There we go. Okay, move with purpose. And do not allow the hip to lift or the torso to rotate. You're going to hold just for a beat. We're activating, engaging those muscles of the hip extensors or the hips as we extend the hips, including glutes. But we want to call on these muscles. All right, get them working. We have the transverse abdominis that we'll be working on. Muscles of the pelvic floor, the latissimus dorsi. I mentioned the others as well. So we're going to be engaging all of these muscles today. And once we work them, we feel them, warm them up, work them, we'll be able to call on them when we need them. All right, good job. We're going to roll to our backs and do some glute bridge. Once again, calling on these muscles, because if we don't use them, we don't train them to come in and take over when we need them, then those other muscles get used and strained. We don't want that to happen. All right, so tailbone tuck. You're going to push your low back down into the mat. Push your low back down right here, engaging the transverse abdominis. It's that deep muscle that runs here from hip to hip. You're going to keep that low back pushed down. Knees are hip width apart. You're going to lift hips, extend through the hips, and then tailbone tap down. Palms up, lift, and tailbone tap down. You're going at your own pace, but I want you to move slowly and with purpose. So my quads are a little sore, so I'm really feeling the stretch in my quads here. But we want to extend through the hips, not through the low back. That's the trick. That's the ticket. So keeping the pelvis tilted. It's a posterior pelvic tilt. That means the top of your pelvis rotates back and down. That's a posterior pelvic tilt. We want to come up and extend, like I said, through the hips using the glutes. Using the glutes, you can put your fingers on those muscles and make sure as you go up and squeeze that you feel those muscles tighten. Okay, let's do a few more. We're just getting those muscles engaged. We want to get them working so that when we move through the next series of exercises, they're ready to go. It's about being mindful of what we're doing, and we're creating that mind-muscle connection so that we can, again, call on those muscles when needed. All right, let's do two more. Squeeze, and one more. And release. Good job. All right, let's roll over to our bellies. Roll over to our bellies. And let's come back to quadruped. Come back to, let's see, do we have anything else? I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Push the hips back. And forward. And back. And forward. do a couple more. Continuing the warm up here. This is all the warm up. All right, good job. Okay, so go ahead and stay right there. I'm going to grab my timer. So we do have timed work today. We're going to start with dead bug. So with dead bug, we have to engage deep core, and we also have to control. We have to control the movement here. So with dead bug, we're going to keep our low backs pressed against the mat the entire time. Be down on your backs. We flex at the hip and knees, hips and knees. Arms start here. So what are we doing? First, engage before we even start moving anything. Push the low back down into the mat. Shin is down. Push the low back down into the mat, engage. If your low back is lifting, push it down. Push it down. That's the beginning of the, if you're not able to control this and contract that transverse abdominis, engage then the workout, the exercise isn't going to do very much for you, right? We have to do that first. So I'm really going to focus on that. We're going to extend arm and opposite leg, and then bring it back. And then arm and opposite leg, bring it back. Okay, we're going to go for 45 seconds. Coming up at 10, we're going to alternate sides. Here we go. Push that low back down into the mat, chin down. Here we go. Make sure you're breathing with it. Breathe with it. Inhale. Exhale. Ticket. The key to this one is pushing that low back down into the mat. Push the low back down, down, down the whole entire time. Good job. We're going to do 2 more sets. 2 more, just like that. 2 more times. All right, here we go. In 5. Low back, down, transverse abdominis, engaged. Here we go. Chin down. You know what I'm feeling? I'm feeling it at the top of the hip in the front and in the low back on the bottom, because my back is healing a little tweaky, so this is good. Don't want it to fully tweak. All right, one more time. Engage, low back. Down to the mat. Transverse abdominis. Working to make sure that low back is down and flat. Flat against the floor. Good job, everybody. Take a short break here. So hopefully you're feeling something deep. Like maybe you can't put your finger on it, but you're feeling those muscles deep in the core. All right, next we're gonna flip it. We're gonna flip it, and we're gonna do Superman. This one, we're gonna only hold for 20 seconds at a time. We're gonna do 4 sets of 20 seconds with that 10 seconds in between. So, on our bellies, we're gonna hold arms out. We're gonna lift arms, chest, and legs just a little bit off the floor and hold. So the ideal is to keep the cervical spine neutral so that we're not hyperextending through the neck. All right, we're gonna do 4 sets of 20. Here we go. Coming up in 10. Wow, that is work right there. Felt that. Okay, we have set number 2 coming up. Woo! All right, 2 more sets. That's hard. And it hurts. And go. Oh my gosh. One more time, because I said 4. One more time. Here we go. Whew. Oh, good work. Good work. All right, tell you what. Let's come up onto our hands and knees, back into child's pose. Just to stretch a little bit, counter stretch here. And you can rock it forward and bring it back one more time. All right, well done. Well done. Okay, so now we're going back to bird dog, but we're going to do bird dog with a body weight row. So as we progress, we will be using dumbbells, small or light weights, but for today, we're just using body weight. So we're back to bird dog. So this is going to work on dynamic, we're doing dynamic thoracic stability or spinal stability and strengthening through the back muscles. So with this, make sure shoulders and wrists are lined up, knees and hips are lined up. You can extend one leg, hold it, and we're going to raise one arm off the mat and then tap the fingers back down to the floor. Okay, we're going to do 30-second rounds. 30-second rounds. Coming up in 10. We're going to do 3 sets each side. Okay, so line up, engage, brace the core, feel those muscles work, extend the leg, keep the hips level, don't rotate the hips, keep the hips level, and raise that arm up and down off the floor. Neck is neutral. switching sides. Switching sides now. Leg out. Other arm rises and lowers. Alright, that was set number one. On to the next. Other side. Back to the other side. I'm just going to put my hair up on you. Back to the other side. And go. Wow, feeling that. All right, other side for set number two. Line it up. Here we go. As you raise the arms, squeeze, shoulder blade midline. Squeeze. Your alignment, knees, hips, shoulders, hands. Extend the leg. Raise and squeeze. Squeeze shoulder blade midline. Keep the toes pointing downward. Don't want to rotate in the hip or in the spine. Whew. All right, last one on the other side. Good job. Let's take it back into child's pose. A little rest position, arms down beside you, forehead to the mat. Let those muscles relax a little bit. Good job, everybody. All right. We're moving on to obliques and QL, quadratus femoris, strengthening. So, right, our obliques allow us to rotate, but also they provide stability when we flex. And then our QL, that deep muscle right between the hips and the ribs there, helps with lateral flexion and stability as well. So, we're going to get some side planks in with hip dip. So let's start with the first set. Once again, alignment is key. Shoulder over the elbow, knee, hip, and shoulder in alignment as well. Bend that bottom knee. We're going to start with bottom knee bend. We're going to lift up. I want you to think about lifting with the rib cage and then tapping that hip back down. We're going to do 30 seconds each side, and then we'll go to full extension if you feel good about that. All right, here we go. can have arm up or hand on your hip, whatever works better for you. Lift and hip tap. Lift and hip tap. Everything in a straight line. Good job. Look down. Are your knees aligned? Are the hips in alignment too? Or do you have one hip pushing backward, or probably not folding forward, but if you have one hip kind of going back, and make sure that the hips are stacked over each other. You need those hips stacked. Okay, let's flip it to the other side. Bottom knee bent. I have to pull that back knee far back there. It feels like it's too far back, but when I look down, I'm like, oh yeah, that's in alignment with my hip. And then hip and shoulder, shoulder and elbow. Okay, I think I'm ready. Line it up. Here we go. And lift and lower. Oh yeah. See, I've got a little tweaky back right now on the left side. I felt it the other day, probably from lifting the little one in and out of this tiny little Jeep that we have, this 20-year-old two-door Jeep that we got to drag behind the motorhome. It's old, and it's actually a workout getting in and out of that car and putting the kids in it. It's just, yeah. Anywho, it's literally, I think that's why my back is tweaked. Okay, flip it to the other side. We are going to extend the legs. Let's see how that feels. If it doesn't feel good, then bend that bottom knee again. Bend that bottom knee. But here we go. We're going to line up. Line up. Knees, hips, shoulders, and elbow. Okay, try not to roll back. Stack the hips. One hip over the other. Here we go. Ooh, yeah. So this one's hard on the shoulder. So we're only going to do 2 sets of this. If it's hard on your shoulder, then don't do it. You can hold side plank if you want, or you can do rotating hip dip. Oh. The rotating hip dip is here, and then dipping hips down. All right, it's in a regular plank, or in a, oh, not yet, not yet. It's in a traditional plank pose, and then you're dipping hips, alternating the right and left hip toward the floor. Okay, one more time. We gotta build up to this one. Okay, hips are stacked. One hip over the other. Here we go. Good job. It does take some shoulder strength here. If you have any shoulder issues, this isn't good for you, then don't do it. Don't do it. Or bend the bottom knee. That takes a little stress off the shoulder as well. Woo. Good job. All right. Well done. So what I was talking about there is being in forearm plank and dipping hips. So you can do that as an alternative to this one. Okay. Moving on, we're staying down on the mat. We're going to hip bridge. So we're going to do a glute bridge with a march. So very important to engage the muscles that we're using. We're doing, we're holding the hips up and then marching the feet. And this one, how long are we going to do this? We're going to do 30 seconds, 3 rounds. And what we're doing is trying to engage those glutes, We want deep core and glute activation. Okay, we want to teach the glutes and those muscles, those deep core muscles to work together so that we have a more effective movement pattern. All right, here we go. What's the ticket here? You want to make sure when you're down, heels, hips, and shoulders are in a nice straight line. Palms are up to start. Posterior pelvic tilt. You can bring your hips closer to your heels, that's fine. And advisable. Pelvic tilt. So before you ever lift your hips up off the floor, you're going to push the low back down into the mat, chin down, and then lift. And then from there, we're going to lift and march. Okay? That is, I'm going to go the other way. That's the move. And it's harder than you would think. Well, we're going to do it. Coming up in 10 seconds. Alright, here we go. Posterior pelvic tilt, chin down, lift, and march. You gotta hold that position. Posterior pelvic tilt. Otherwise, it doesn't do the job that we want it to do. This exercise is not going to be as effective if we're arching through the back. We need to do posterior pelvic tilt and engage those glutes. Arch it. And release. 2 more sets. Remember the cueing. Chin down. Posterior pelvic tilt. Push the low back down to the back. Into the mat. Lift. And march. Right, teaching those glutes to stay engaged and fired even when we release one leg at a time. Whew. Take your time. There's nothing fast about this one at all, this workout at all. 2. All right, we're going to do one more set. One more set just like that. Push that low back down into the ground. Down into the mat. Here we go. Chin down. It's not about how high you lift. It's about keeping the muscles engaged while we alternate legs. I'm feeling my glutes. How about you? It's a good thing. Woo, good job. All right. Well done there. All right, we've got a couple more. We're going to do a lat pullover. So we're going to add some weight to this work, body weight, a towel or a band or something to hold on to. You can do that. But what we're going to do, you're going to extend through the lats and right back. If you want to use a light weight, if you have that available to you, you can. If you'd like, but ideally we want to use body weight or like a band or a towel if you have one. But it's okay. I don't have any of those things, so I'm just going to I'm going to use nothing. I can get that broom, like that would be good. So with this one, right, we're extending through the lats. We're working on lat and thoracic extension. So like I've said before, I've said so many times, like we go through the body as we line up what's mobile, what's stable, what's mobile, what's stable, and it alternates, right? Each joint, each major joint of the body as we go up or down the body alternates between stability and mobility. So the thoracic spine is meant to be mobile because we have the lumbar spine, and not just joints, but the areas of the body. The lumbar spine should be stable. So this one works on thoracic mobility and extending through the lats. Okay, so let's do 45-second rounds here. And what we're going to do is just in a nice controlled slow motion, we're going to extend, arms up, thumbs can touch the floor, and then right back. So tell you what, push the low back down into the mat, but your mid back will lift off the mat, right? So what we want to do is keep the low back stable and allow the thoracic spine to flex and extend. Does that make sense? All right, here we go. Here we go. Okay, chin down, feet flat on the floor, low back down, thumbs up. Here we go. So you'll feel the mid-back lift off the floor just a little bit. You're going to go all the way up and all the way down. So we have a little shoulder mobility here too. And extend all the way up. Creating some space between the mat and your mid-back. Not the low back. The low back stays down. I can feel like here, my shoulders are down. That area of my back is down, and then as I come up, there's a little pocket that gets created there. Chin down. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more sets of those. 2 more sets. Okay, once again, low back, down on the mat, posterior pelvic tilt, chin down, thumbs up. Tap those thumbs to the floor, and then tap the pinkies to the floor. Push the low back down into the mat. Hold that position. Big deep breath here, and then exhale. I don't know about you, but those muscles are on fire. Wow. Because I'm isolating, nothing else is moving. I'm really isolating, just moving my arms up and down. Pushing low back down. Woo, oh my gosh. Okay, one more. One more. Low back down, back of the head on the mat, chin down, pinkies to the floor, thumbs up. Here we go. Wow. That is crazy how much that burned. Now, in my defense, I did work out at the Y yesterday and did some back exercises. And my back might be a little bit sore. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of stretching now. We don't do a lot of stretching in our classes. We do some through our mobility and strength work, but we don't do much focused stretching. We're going to do a little bit of that in our healthy back workout. Okay, so we're going to do a lying hamstring stretch. So let's get to that. All the way down on your back. We're going to extend legs and arms. Let's stretch a little bit first. Walk the shoulders up and the hips down. Stretch the midsection first. Reach up through your fingertips and down through your toes. And then release. Good job. All right, let's pull one knee into the chest. Oh, my hamstring is a little sore. So hamstrings get tight, that causes some low back issues. Hip flexors get tight, that's going to be a problem. So let's stretch these hamstrings just a little bit. Just a little bit here. Let's hold for 20 seconds. All right, in 8, 7, 6, chin down, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to the chest and leg down. All right, other side. Knee in, chin down, leg up, and hold. Seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to the chest and down. All right, we are going to go over into our onto our bellies. We're going to do a hip flexor stretch. So you can do this standing if you're not good on your knees. I'm going to get into a lunge. Get that out of the way. So step forward with one foot. Okay, so for this to be effective, we need to make sure that our bodies aren't twisted or torqued. So bring it here, bring it up to a high lunge or an up lunge, and then lean forward. I want you to push your hips forward. Push the hips forward. You should feel a stretch in the straight leg, the hip of the straight leg. Let's hold for